Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you decided to come back and see me at Everything Home. Today we're going to do a couple of DIYs. We're going to take everyday ordinary things from the Dollar Tree that you may not think about, and we're going to turn them into two gorgeous, fabulous Christmas wreaths. They're both going to be kind of shabby. One's more shabby than the other, more feminine. The other one is shabby but yet rustic. So they're really, really cute. I couldn't believe how great these wreaths turned out of just simple everyday items, like I said, from the Dollar Tree. So if you're excited to see what we're going to create today, come along with me. We're going to DIY it, use some Dollar Tree items, do it on a budget, and have a blast while we're at it. So if you like my channel, give me a thumbs up, guys. And subscribe. Click the notification bell so you'll know when I'm uploading a new video. I love to do those DIYs and crafts and do it on a dime if I can. So come along with me and let's get busy. Thanks.
Hey guys, welcome back. Let's take these few items I got from the Dollar Tree and turn them into some gorgeous, gorgeous Christmas wreaths that are super budget friendly and easy to make. Just a couple of wreath forms, some fuzzy dusters, some ornaments, ribbon, and hot glue, and we're on our way. So let's go. The first thing I did was I took a foam floral wreath that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I painted it with 2 coats of white chalk paint. You can use any brand of chalk paint you want. I usually make my own, and it's really easy to do. But 2 coats will cover it really well because you don't want any of the green showing through. Pull out your fuzzy dusters. You'll need 3 boxes of these and your wire wreath form. There are 2 duster covers in each box, so that will give you 6. You're going to take all of your dusters out. You won't need the handles. If you want to save them for a future project, you can, or you can just discard them like I did. When you open up your dusters, the end where you put the handle into, you're going to open that up, and I just put my thumbs inside, and very gently you're going to pull one side apart. Now you're only going to do this with one side of the duster because you want the other side to stay attached. And it may take a little bit of pressure to get this open, but just take your time because you don't want to rip it completely in half. Like I said, you only want one side pulled apart so that you've got a nice thick piece of fuzzy duster cloth. Once you get each of these sections all pulled apart, we're going to go on to the next step. Take your wire wreath form, and what you're going to do is you are going to lay the front face of the form down on top of the fuzzy duster. Make sure you're placing the front of the wreath down on it because that's the side you're going to see. And also you're going to want to make sure that you attach it to the back of the fuzzy duster because you want that fuzzy, pretty, frilly stuff on the front of your wreath. Take some hot glue and put a bead along the top wire of the wreath form, and then just fold the edges of the fuzzy duster over. It'll adhere to the form and it will adhere to itself, so it'll give it a nice firm hold. If you're going to do this with the top wire and the bottom wire of the wreath form, again, put a line of hot glue along that bottom wreath form, and then just simply fold the edges of the fuzzy duster over it. You're going to do this with all 6 pieces of the fuzzy duster around the form. And make sure that when you put your pieces on, they line up so that there are no gaps in between each section. If you want to give it a little tug to kind of stretch the material a bit, you can do that, but just don't tug too hard because these really aren't very solid, but they are such a beautiful fuzzy material that I couldn't resist trying to make a wreath out of them. So as you see, I'm just kind of matching up my edges. and then simply hot gluing each piece down. And voila, there you have it. Isn't that gorgeous? Look how fuzzy and fluffy and shabby chic that looks. Almost like a big wreath of snow. Then I took my little ribbon that I got from the Dollar Tree, and this ribbon is pretty stiff and it's not wired on the sides. So I decided I was just going to wrap it around itself a couple of times and make it nice and even. And then I decided to hold it together and make a nice bow. I would put a couple little slits in the middle, one on each side. Now don't cut all the way through, just make a little groove on each side so that you can take like a zip tie, or a wire would probably work. But I used a zip tie because they're so strong and so easy to use. And I just wrapped that into the grooves and pulled it as tight as I could. That way it would make the shape of a bow, and I knew that it would hold nice and secure and I wouldn't have to worry about it coming apart. Because again, this ribbon was really beautiful with the holly berries and kind of looked burlap, but it's almost like a stiff plastic type of material. So it's kind of would be hard to work with by any other means, but this worked really great. Cut off the loose end of your wire tie, or your zip tie I should say. And then I just pulled my little loops apart and kind of fluffed them and ruffled them and made them nice and full. This made me a cute little 4-ribbon, 4-loop bow that was just about the perfect size for my little wreath. Once I had my bow in shape, I then took one of the little pine ornaments that I had gotten from the Dollar Tree, and I just took its little wire tie off of it and put some hot glue on, and then I glued it to the bow lengthwise, and that worked out really well because it was just the perfect size for the bow. I then took one of the little truck ornaments that I picked up at the Dollar Tree, and I wanted to give it a little bit of color. So I took my red acrylic paint and I just painted around the fender wells and the baseboard and the bed of the truck. The rest of it I went ahead and left it the brown color, and I thought that turned out really cute. It gave it more of a rustic feel. I did use 2 coats of the red acrylic paint, and that seemed to give it good coverage, and it really made it look nice. This red's going to pop out great against this wreath, especially since the ribbon has holly berries and the pine that I put on it has holly berries. The next step that I did was I took some jute twine and I wanted to make a little hanger for my wreath. So I wrapped the jute twine around the top where I was going to hang my wreath. And then I took a little white jingle bell that I happened to have from last year, and I threaded the jute twine through the top of the jingle bell. This took a little bit of doing because it was kind of hard to thread it, but once I got it through there, I pulled that jingle bell all the way to the wreath so that that would be my first jingle bell. And it would lay just about on the top of the wreath where I was going to hang it. And then I put a second jingle bell on the string, and I pulled it down to about 4 or 5 inches above the first jingle bell. And once I got that to where I wanted it, I tied that off so that it wouldn't move. And then I simply put a knot in the very end of the jute and tied those together. And this would be my hanger. I plan on hanging these wreaths from my kitchen cabinets, so I needed a long string. I then added a milk can ornament to one side of the wreath, and I added a tin pail ornament that was filled with snowballs to the other side of the wreath. And I also picked these up at the Dollar Tree, and I thought they were just absolutely adorable, very farmhouse, and just perfect for my kitchen decor this year. Make sure you use a generous amount of hot glue again, because you definitely want them to adhere well. They're not heavy ornaments, so that made it very nice for this project. Make sure you have a lot of glue sticks on hand too. You can't be a crafter without your glue sticks. Once these were adhered well, my little red truck was dry and it was time to attach him. And I simply attached him to the very top of the wreath, right underneath the first white jingle bell. And there you have it, your gorgeous little rustic yet shabby Christmas wreath. Beautiful. Now you're going to want to cut one end of your foam wreath in half, and this is so that you will have an opening to put your material around the wreath. And grab your scrunchy, whatever you call these bath things, and snip the inside rope apart. Just pull your scrunchie apart and you'll see the ropes tied together. Once you snip that, you're going to have a nice long string of scrunchie material. Slip your hand to the inside and start pulling the netting up over your arm. And as you do this, you can grab a hold of the little sponge balls that are on the inside of it. You're going to want that netting over your arm anyway, because this makes it much easier to put that scrunchie material. Since it's a netting type material, it makes it much easier to put that around the wreath form when you're done. I just held the sponge squares in my hand because I wanted to use them for a future project, so I set them to the side. And then I took a hold of one side of the wreath form and started pulling my netting off of my arm and onto the form. This is a very quick and easy thing to do, but the results are absolutely stunning. And there's your first scrunchie. And it only takes 2 for this wreath. If you want it to be thicker and fuller, you can add more. But for my taste, 2 was just fine. Once you get that material on, you're going to want to either tape or hot glue the ends of that foam together. Hot glue worked for me, but you could also put maybe a little dowel rod or a piece of wire into each side of that foam and push it together to hold it. Then I just took some little pink ornaments that I had from last year, and I wanted this to be simple because I really just wanted the fluffiness of it to be the prettiest part. So I only needed a few baubles to hot glue around the wreath to complete the project. And here comes Whiskey Girl to help me out. Shiny round things that she can bat around. She's all over it. Voila! Here is our gorgeous second wreath. So quick, so easy, and so beautiful. I really hope you guys enjoyed these 2 DIY wreaths. They're budget friendly, they're easy to do, and they make your home so beautiful for the holidays.